Hello, breathers.
And welcome back
to another fabulous
episode of
All My Favorite People Are Dead.
She's Shannon Butler.
Yeah, and she's Sue Cerisi.
That's easy for you to say.
Sue Cerisi.
And that's me.
You threw me off by saying my name.
I know. I threw myself off. I know. I actually was thinking my
what?
name, but it came out your name.
I know.
That's pretty sad. We're
no.
like savants.
Sue.
Yeah, it's easy for you to say.
I don't know who I am today, honestly.
I know. You're Shannon.
Okay. And you're Sue.
And I'm Sue.
Okay.
And here we are, and we are breathing, and
we're
talking
breathing
about those who are not breathing, kind of, sort of.
So yeah, we're I think you're talking about people who were kind of, sort of
evil. I guess.
And are we glad they're dead? I guess we'll find out.
I don't think you're ever happy that evil people walk amongst us, and that's what we're going to discuss today. Okay. Whether they're evil, whether some of them, I think, are a product of their environment. Okay. I think some of them became quote-unquote monsters because they went through really lousy experiences.
And that makes you, really contemplate their mindset and makes you wonder, were they really truly evil? Or was it just...
environmental? Had they been brought up in a different experience... in a different setting, would they still behave this way? Right. As opposed to real evil to the core means sons of guns.
Well, this is a deep subject matter, and I feel like I'm going to need more coffee. But
okay, I will get you more coffee. I will inject it.
You might have to.
I will start it in your veins.
This is going to be deep, I think.
This is very thought-provoking, and, comments are welcome. If you ever want to let us know what you think, because... I already know what I think. I don't know what everybody else thinks. Well, actually, I don't always know what I think.
I don't know. This is all going to be new to me.
Okay.
I've listened to a ton of true crime podcasts, and once in a while we'll throw a true crime thing in there.
Were they all adults?
No, not all of them.
See, here's where I go. I want to talk about not just people, children in particular, because I made my career with children.
That's right.
I was a special ed teacher. I've worked in god-awful neighborhoods. Yeah. People that decent people shouldn't be seen. Have I ever worked with, and I've asked myself this, a quote-unquote evil child? Yeah. No.
No? Okay. No.
I've always, I've had kids, and a kid comes in, and the kid will act out. I'm like, why would a kid behave that way? And then I read their case history. Uh-huh. Or, a parent will come in, and I'll see the parent. I'm like, oh, you must be little Billy's mother.
Oh, no.
Oh, that explains it. I could pick her out in a lineup. Oh, I see what's going on here. Oh. Yeah. And I've told the kids, look, even negative attention is better than no attention, right? Right. Children will act out just to get any form of attention, even if it's reprimanding. Yeah. And I tell the kids, I go, there's no such a thing as a bad person. There's only bad behavior. Make a better choice. And I've said that. I wish I had $1 for every time I said that.
I wish I could say that to a lot of the adults I meet during the course of my workday.
No, they're dumbasses. That's the difference. Children are not dumbasses. Children don't know any better. You can't... like when an 8-year-old comes in late, I'm like, having car trouble, right? It's not your fault. Right. It's your grown-up's fault. That's not on you.
Or they couldn't get their kid to wake up that morning. There is that.
Yeah, okay. That's on the parent.
True.
Okay, if a kid comes in the middle of January wearing shorts, is it, the kid was being stubborn? Or in most of my case, the kid didn't have pants. There weren't enough clothes in that family. So we see what's going on there. Or is the kid being defiant? I mean, there are different ways to see what's to evaluate the situation. Okay. But I want to focus on children specifically that are evil, what we would define as evil.
Okay. Okay. I'm curious.
I am too.
Okay.
Okay, like I said, I've never really worked I've worked with kids that have had bad experiences, kids that have bad behavior, kids that make bad choices. Nobody that I said, oh, that kid's evil, I'm afraid to be alone in the room with them. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the expression nature versus nurture. Okay. Right? Describing the question of how much a person's characteristics are formed by nature or nurture. Okay. Mm-hmm. Nature meaning innate biological factors like genetics. Okay. While nurture can refer to the upbringing or life experience more generally.
Their environment.
Their environment. Yeah. Now, I've told this. I said, son, you wouldn't last an hour in my house. You wouldn't behave that way if you were my kid, whatever, right? some kids that I've worked with have had lousy experiences, and this is all they understand.
Okay.
But then there are the genetics, born biologically evil. Okay. Why does anyone kill? Why would a child or a teenager kill? Mm-hmm. That's the disturbing part here. Okay. We've had several people who, as a child, committed several murders.
Yeah.
Child murderers. This is where I'm going with this. Okay?
Okay. All right. Hold on to your butts, people.
Okay, hold on. Buckle in. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Get your helmets, breathers. Okay?
Right.
Mary Flora Bell committed her first killing when she was 10.
Jesus.
Marie Sada killed 3 people by the time he was 8.
Oh, my God.
You have Jamie, I don't know if it's pronounced Jamie or Jaime Asuna, who made his first killing at 13. He was the sadistic murderer, the real-life Joker with all these tattoos on his face, if you look him up. He was a torturer and a cruel, cold-blooded killer with no remorse.
Hold on. He had tattoos on his face at 13?
I don't know if he had the tattoos at 13.
I was going to say,
he did his first murder at 13.
Who the hell's tattooing this kid?
He couldn't, because I think that's illegal. You can't walk in at 13 and get... If you see pictures of him, he looks like the Joker, the Riddler, with the facial tattoos now.
Okay.
These are people with no remorse. But we're not going to talk about them because they're alive.
They're alive. Oh,
they're breathing.
Right, we can't do that then.
So we can't talk about them. I'm using them as an example of children who murder.
Okay.
But I can talk about Michael Hernandez, who was also a teenage murderer. He was serving life for the murder of his middle school classmate, Jamie Go, in 2004.
And he's dead.
He's dead.
Oh.
The others are alive, so we can't talk about them. But if you want to look them up on your own, go right ahead.
Okay.
Hernandez fantasized about being a serial killer.
Oh, Jesus.
He lured the other boy into the school bathroom and stabbed him more than 40 times. A psychopath? I don't know. He was 13.
Wait, when did he do that?
I'll get to it.
Okay.
2004.
2004.
Yeah. So when he was in 2004 as a teenager, he murdered his friend, nothing else for the thrill of murdering another human being and taking their life. That was his first human victim of what would have been a string of victims. He planned on becoming a serial killer. That was his gateway. So thank goodness we caught him and we locked him up. He happened to have died in jail from a weak heart at the age of 31.
A weak heart? No, he didn't have any heart.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, but a black heart.
Jesus.
Okay. He's described as not getting into fights at school, not taking drugs or drinking. He kissed his mom goodnight. His parents, Manny and Kathy Hernandez, took their son to a psychologist for quirky things. Teenage quirky things.
Okay.
Repeatedly opening and closing garage doors, refrigerator doors, opening and slamming the doors, wanting the same specific thing for lunch all the time, a specific, brand of bologna, whatever. Huh. And they thought it was a little weird.
Yeah, a little weird. Yeah.
Okay. But a murderer.
First of all, who the hell eats bologna all the fucking time?
Murderers.
That's a murder.
Murderers.
Absolutely.
So he was not the type he wasn't getting into fights. He kissed his mother goodnight, and then he goes, just for the halibut, and kills this other kid in school.
Wow.
Okay? Just like the others that are breathing, 8, 10-year-olds killing a smaller child.
And this was a friend of his.
Yeah, his buddy. Come to the bathroom. I want to show you something.
And he
went with him. And 40 times. He stabbed the crap out of him 40 times.
What the...
And he claims this was my first. I'm on the path. This was, where do you see yourself as a murderer?
Wow.
So is being evil genetic? A 2002 study found that there was a particular variation of a gene that predicted antisocial behavior in men who were mistreated as children.
We talked about this in our corpses thing, where they were checking the brain.
Right.
And it was a normal brain. There was no signs that it was any different from any other brain.
Now, you can't necessarily change your genes, but you can change the way they work. There are things that are trauma bonds and things that are passed down. Because I've read other stories with Holocaust survivors, first generation, the children, the grandchildren, that have almost like these markers of trauma, even though they didn't experience it firsthand.
Okay.
So if you're a descendant, so there are these studies like this one here. I'll read it again. There's a variation of a gene that predicts antisocial behavior in men who were mistreated as children. Huh. The gene controls whether we produce an enzyme called monoamine oxidase A, MAOA, which at low levels has been linked to aggression in mice.
Oh.
So
Murdering mice.
That can't be good. Okay.
No.
You remember Ted Bundy?
Yeah.
Ooh, who doesn't? He was that American, for those of you who don't remember, he was that American serial killer who kidnapped, raped, murdered numerous young women and girls in the early 70s, possibly earlier. After more than a decade of denying, he confessed to at least 30 committed in 7 states between 74 and 78.
Right.
Okay? He is commonly referred to, he was executed in 89.
Right.
He is commonly referred to as an evil psychopath. I'll say it again. Evil psychopath.
Okay.
Which is typically used as an example of one who was born evil and did not become evil due to his circumstances. Okay?
Okay. So you think he was evil as a kid?
It doesn't say, maybe he didn't commit these murders till he was an adult. Do you suddenly become evil as an adult? What happens if you're an evil kid? Do you have bad genes? I'm talking about people who did not have rough upbringings. Like the other boy in India, he killed his baby sister, and then he killed the neighbor, and he killed smaller children, and he's like, who did this? And they're looking, oh, it's the kid who's in a normal family. Okay?
Okay.
On the flip side, there was a movie called The Child of Rage.
Okay.
It's about Beth Thomas, who was sexually and physically abused her whole childhood. She was a very young girl, abused by the father, rescued by foster parents.
Okay.
She had no empathy. No empathy. It starts off with torturing animals. She was trying to get the dog, and then eventually she many times tried to kill her baby brother.
Shit.
Okay? Now, after years of therapy, she's fully recovered from her painful trauma. She's now a nurse.
Okay.
But she had years of trauma. Why are you trying to kill? If you ever watched that, I've seen excerpts of that movie, A Child of Rage.
Okay.
So because of her very, very young trauma, she lacked bonding, which yields an attachment disorder and lack of empathy and sympathy, which are characteristics of cold-blooded killers. But again, a product of the environment.
Okay.
I feel all this pain, now you're going to feel pain too. I can't cope, now you can't cope. Now I've been bullied and now, I'm on the flip side. Now I got power over you. Again, environmental, not evil, in my opinion.
Okay.
There was this landmark book in preventing child abuse. It was called A Child Called It. Because the mother was such a nut, she didn't even give the kid an idea. It. You're an it. You're not even a person. You're an it. And she was so abused. It's very tough to read. I couldn't read it.
It's a true story?
These are all true stories.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's the sad part. The greatest form of child abuse is not sexual or it's mental.
Yeah.
It's psychological, leaving the child with a lasting sense of hatred.
Yeah.
Hating himself and hating others. Now I hate everybody. Look
for the rest of their
for
lives.
Usually,
yeah.
Okay? But when the child isn't... So I kind of understand these children having been... That's all they know, especially at such a young age. That's all they know. There's no nurturing. There's no love. There's pain and abuse and being degraded. To me, that's not evil. That's a victim... If these children were brought up in a normal home, they would have empathy. They would have nurturing. But what about like the other people that had no trauma and just wound up evil?
Okay, so who do we got that's...
So we'll get back. So according to psychologists, an evil person is constantly self-deceiving, deceives others, psychologically projects his or her evil on every specific target, hates, abuses power, and lies incessantly. Evil people are unable to think from the viewpoint of their victim. Whether humans are born good or evil has been debated by philosophers for centuries, right? Nature versus nurture.
Yep.
Aristotle argued morality is learned, that we're born as amoral creatures, while Sigmund Freud considers newborn babies a blank slate. Now, I personally think love is innate and hatred is taught. You get a bunch of, let's say you have 3-year-olds. Let's say you have a 3-year-old black kid and a 3-year-old white kid.
Yep.
Do you think the 3-year-old white kid hates the 3-year-old black kid?
No.
He couldn't care less.
Right.
You know what 3-year-olds hate? naps,
broccoli,
vegetables, napping.
Yeah.
I think that's a learned behavior, but not love. They'll share, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll share, oh, here are my crayons, right?
Yeah.
Nobody taught them that. I think, so, okay. Child serial killers have been studied to have a certain biological predisposition. Their brain system shows deficits, such as having low levels of frustration. And when you have a very low level of frustration, at least in children, sometimes you're predisposed to violence. Mm-hmm. Okay? To be truly evil, a person to be truly evil, right? Not evil in the good way, like, you, me, and Vampire, in the real evil way.
The real evil way.
The real evil way. Someone must have sought to do harm by planning to commit some morally wrong action with no prompting from others. Mm-hmm. They deliberately want to cause pain and suffering on other people. Yeah. Whether this person successfully executes his plan isn't the point. They think about, harming. Mm-hmm. That's considered an act of evil. Okay. So, which makes me think, do children under a certain age, let's say they're serial killers, do they even know death is permanent? You tell a kid, the dog died. Oh, well, he's coming back? No. He went up to heaven and we're never going to see him again. Do they understand that's permanent? I'm not sure. But do they know something is wrong? Mm-hmm. I've had kids. I'm like, did you take his crayon? Did you ask him if it? And the kid, no. And the kid looks like they feel guilty and they know they did something wrong. I said, you need to say sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. They know that's wrong. So they don't know that by strangling a smaller kid is wrong. But yet these children who've committed murder have done it repeatedly by ages 8 or 10.
Yeah.
Okay, this is thought-provoking here.
It is, yeah.
I know. I think they know it's wrong, okay?
Okay.
Kids know. Did you take that? Did you pull his chair? Did you mean to make him angry? Did you mean to do that? Yeah, why? I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay, you know that you're going to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
But they do it anyway. And to the point of death. Evil or not evil? You decide.
Well, it's like it makes you wonder, if the kid is in the backyard and they're playing in the dirt and they see like a
bird or whatever.
Whatever. They see some sort of bug or something and they decide to chop its head off.
Right.
Like, do they realize?
Right. Or a small animal, that's how it starts. Right. That it's not coming back. It's not going to regenerate.
That's it.
But
it's over.
Right. But they know it's wrong.
Yeah.
You still know it's wrong. Mm-hmm. You know it's wrong. You know taking someone's pencil out of their desk is wrong. So you don't know that, wrapping your fingers or hitting another person in the head with a big rock or stabbing them with a sharp instrument is wrong.
Yeah, you should instantly know.
I don't care if you're 8 or you're 10.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the psychology of murderers? Just murderers in general. The most common psychological trait among serial killers, child or adult, seems to be extreme antisocial behavior. Lack of empathy, which is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Lack of empathy, you don't give a crap about your victim. You don't care. They're not even alive to you.
Right.
Lack of empathy.
They're just taking up space.
They're an it.
Yeah.
Right?
An it. Yeah.
An it. They appear incapable of remorse. They have little regard for law, social norms, and they have a strong desire to extract revenge on individuals or society at large by committing violent acts. Does this apply to children? Okay. Do children... I think
kids haven't had much interaction with society.
Exactly.
They're so young.
But they know. They know right from wrong. They know. Raise your hand. I've worked with 3. Can you raise your hand? Can you not call it? They know that.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you want to go to the bathroom. Don't put there's somebody in front of you online. Mm-hmm. Get behind them. Ask.
Yeah.
Don't take stuff out of his desk. Ask him if it's okay.
Uh-huh.
Don't push. They know that at an early age. So if a child is becoming a child, not a grown-up, a child who has not been abused, who comes from a regular home, becomes a serial killer or a teenager wants to kill his buddy in the bathroom for shits and giggles.
Then they're evil.
Okay. Morally reprehensible, sinful, wicked, an evil impulse, bad character or conduct is the definition of evil.
Okay.
If you want to talk about movies that deal with evil children, right? Okay, The Omen, Rosemary's Baby, but the one I always tell you that was The Bad Seed. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen The Bad Seed, don't watch it at night in the dark.
That's a classic.
It's not one of those, slash 'em up, Freddy, Jason, any of them. It's black and white because it's that old. Yeah, I think and then it went to Broadway, and they changed the ending on Broadway from the film. I don't know which came first, but it has two different endings.
Okay.
There's this little sweetie, like the girl on the hot cocoa box with the long blonde braids,
Yeah.
like Cindy Brady.
Yeah.
And she is a living doll. Mommy, can I help you set the table? Mommy, you look so pretty today. And she is such a charming child. Until you start seeing signs that this bitch is a murderer. And she's like 10.
Yeah.
And the mother finally puts two and two together and realizes my kid is a murderer and she's not stopping. What do I do?
Yeah.
And like nobody's believing her, you know. It's one of those, and it's the creepiest thing that really makes the hair on your back of your neck.
Yeah, that's a doozy, that one.
It really is a doozy. The bad seed.
The bad
Okay?
seed.
It doesn't deal with possession or any of that. It deals exclusively with this child.
This evil
Who's
child.
evil.
Yeah,
She's evil. And mom has to make a decision when she finds out her child
Yeah.
is the bad seed.
Now I'm wondering if they base that off of an actual
Could be.
story.
Could be.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you. Tell you. What does a parent do when your kid kills? What is a parent supposed to do? You find that kid is a murderer. You got to keep the guns locked up, right? Well, your kid brings a gun to school. There was one. The teacher had a peanut allergy, very severe peanut allergy, and the kid under fourth grade or under, threatened to breathe on her. I have a peanut butter sandwich and I'm not afraid to use it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, this was a couple of years ago. You don't remember reading this?
No.
And he's like, I got this peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I'm going to eat, and I'm going to breathe on you and you're going to die.
That's fucked up.
Okay, evil.
Yeah.
Evil? Where did he knows she's got a deadly peanut allergy?
Yeah.
So this kid is evil.
I mean, unless she abused him in some way, shape, or form.
She's a teacher, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything about that. He had it in for her for whatever reason.
That's fucked up.
As a child will have in for a teacher for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Or a parent.
Yeah.
You know, parents that go to bed. No, brush your teeth. You know, maybe teacher said, do your homework. Write it again. I don't know. Well, I have a peanut butter sandwich, and I'm not afraid to use it.
I'm going to kill you with
and
a
I'm going to
peanut
kill
butter
you
sandwich.
with it. So can you imagine if the kid had a gun?
That's so fucked up. No, I know. That's, yeah. Well, yeah, no. That's weird.
Oh, and I don't know if it's Amazon. I don't know which one it is. If you want to stream, it's a documentary. It's called Kids Who Kill.
Okay.
And these kids are the ones that are alive are in it.
Okay.
There's another kid. I don't remember what his deal was. He killed basically for shits and giggles, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I was riding my bike," and they were like, "Oh, you were riding your bike," and they brought him in. What did you see? What did you see? And he was this cute little freckled boy. So he was the murderer.
Oh, gee.
So. And it's shocking, to think of a child it's like a Twilight Zone episode with these evil kids, right?
Yeah.
There was an episode, you tell me, Kids Who Kill, for further thought and thought-provoking material on kids who were evil. I have experienced kids who went through a lot of bad things. I've had kids in foster care, kids who were abused, kids whose parents were, drug addicts or prostitutes or whatever. They've had problems, but I've never felt that I've had a kid like that little girl from the bad seed. And the thing is, she was from a nice prominent family, and she looked so cute with the little bows in her hair.
Right.
And she's a cold-blooded killer. She wants something, she'll kill for it.
Fun.
So is innate evil, or obviously not the same as trauma?
So here's my question: other than the Hernandez guy, the kid who stabbed his friend in the garage, or bathroom.
A lot of them are alive.
Okay.
So I gave mention, but technically we're not going to talk about them specifically, because the woman that killed 2 or 3 kids when she was a kid is now like in her 60s and she's out.
Okay.
So and the other boy, Anjit, I'm going to mess up his name. He's a boy from India, and he I think it was his little sister and his cousin or something, and they're like, something's going. Oh, it's him. It's him, and he. So if a kid goes around unprovoked, right? You start to worry about the kids that start hurting animals and torturing small animals, and then they start killing people at 8, 10 years old. You tell me if that's not evil, or are they sick?
Yeah.
But can evil be? You have a psychological, murderous intent, genetics again. born evil. You know, picture a little kid like Hannibal Lecter without the mask. Now, little kid, 8 to 10-year-olds. I think they know that whether they know death is permanent or not, they know it's wrong. They know wrapping your fingers around somebody or beating somebody in the head or getting a sharp instrument from your kitchen and stabbing another kid or person with it. And, you know, what happens when they grow up?
It kind of makes me think of back when we talked about our favorite murdering Lizzies.
Yeah.
And I was discussing Lizzie Holiday and how when she was a child, even her family were afraid of her.
Okay. Unprovoked.
Yeah.
She wound up being for those of you who missed that episode, it's a Murdering Lizzies.
Murdering Lizzies. And you discussed Lizzie Borden and I discussed Lizzie Holiday. And Lizzie Holiday was really considered the first female serial killer here in New York State. She was very active in, she had threatened to kill several of her early husbands and then eventually got around to killing one of her husbands, plus
other people.
Yes, his son and plus 2 other women.
But her family was afraid of her
in her
afraid.
Youth. Yeah, they kind of parted ways with her as a child because they were afraid of her.
So there you go.
A brother of hers had claimed that
when she was a kid, she
was known for tantrums and just freaking out and scaring the family.
Right. That to the point where they thought she was a threat. That she was evil. Was that word? Yeah. So. Okay,
so
there you go. So she's another one.
Maybe if she could have, would she have killed somebody as a child? I don't know.
If she had access, maybe. How do you remember how old she was with her first murder? An adult.
She was a young adult anyway, because she had married an older veteran and she was quite young still.
So she was 18, 19, 20. So again, she could have been like Hernandez.
Right.
He was 13.
Yeah.
So she could have been 18.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. But there was no history of abuse with her growing up.
No.
So what makes somebody a murderer? A murderer is made? Are they born? Is it genetic? This is the topic for you to decide. I'm just supplying information.
Food for thought, folks.
Again,
contemplate it.
I've worked with kids that have bad behaviors that need counseling for everything they've gone through, and yet most of them don't wind up killing anybody.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder who walks amongst us, and it just makes you wonder about evil being innate and people born that way. You don't want to think of that.
I don't know. I don't want to.
Who wants to think of who wants to think of anybody being evil? I like to think bad is a choice.
Right.
Again, Freud said we're born as a blank slate. So if you're born and you're a little kid and you have teddy bears and rainbows and gummy bears and you grow up normal and you wind up being a serial killer by the time you're 10, you tell me.
Yeah, that's...
I thought that was worth discussing in a very creepy topic. Evil children who kill.
That is very creepy.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we don't often do really creepy episodes.
Not like that.
That is pretty creepy, yeah.
That's why I thought I would put it out there.
I need a drink.
She needs a drink. She needs a drink. Arsenic, maybe? Would you like a glass of arsenic?
I think I need something stronger than that.
Okay, stronger than arsenic. I can mix it with bleach.
So, that's wild, yeah.
Put it out there. Your thoughts. If any breathers out there want to
comment on that,
you can reach us at...
you could comment on our Facebook page. All my favorite people are dead on Facebook. Yep, and we're also on Instagram too. And we also we have an email,
which is
what is our email? Favorite dead podcast, I think. Right?
If I remembered, I wouldn't ask you. That's
true.
Another thing I can't remember.
Yeah, it's favorite dead podcast at gmail.com. Yeah. So that's our email, and you could email us.
Yeah, we're always looking for feedback on your thoughts. Or
we got a nice compliment on iTunes, which was very nice to read. Thank you.
We are 5-star.
We are 5 stars. I mean, I think only 3 people have rated us, but 5 stars. Hey, I'll take it.
Hey, that's all right. Other people will put us out there. So we are out there. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Tell your enemies.
Hopefully, next episode won't be as creepy funnies as well?
Well, let's see. What did we do? Oh, last time I did Betty White.
Betty White. That was a
So
nice.
I went
that was a palate
from-
cleanser, right?
I went.
that was a palate cleanser, Betty White. Yeah.
So I went from Betty White to Evil Children.
Yeah.
I don't know how I follow that.
And I was going to pull together a character this week, but she's a rather complicated person. I realized I
so
couldn't
we'll-
finish her in time, so we'll do her next
We'll
week.
do her. We'll do her when we do her. If you have any ideas of somebody that
You want to talk
you would
about?
like to, you would like to hear about.
Yeah.
You know, we're always open to ideas. Please leave us comments,
Yeah, yeah,
feedback. We want to know what you think because that's why we do this.
Right.
Today wasn't a funny. Usually you and I are
Yeah,
funny.
this is not that funny.
How can you? It's kind of hard to be funny about evil children.
Yeah.
So the funny is not in this episode.
No, we'll try to be funny next time.
Yeah,
This one was
we're
kinda
usually
dark.
funny, but I can't. I don't know.
can't-
Were we funny with the? Yeah, I think we were even funny with that.
With what?
The Lizzies.
The Lizzies? Yeah, we were funny with. Yeah, because
But you can't really laugh at kids killing kids.
No, you
Even I
can't.
can't do that.
No.
So we're gonna put the funny on the back burner. So just so you know.
we'll get funny next time.
Yeah,
try.
we'll do funny.
Yeah.
Because that's how we roll.
We do. We try
funny.
to be funny, but
We
this
want
one,
you to
yeah.
learn through
humor and entertainment.
Yeah, but this is something that for you to think about.
Yeah.
This is something for you to go, Okay, everybody, say it with me. Good, yeah, good.
Think,
good.
ponder.
Think
Okay.
think on evil children. The next time you're in the supermarket and you see a kid pitching a fit because he wants gum and mom's like, no, put that back. that might be the last time you see mom.
Oh my
Where'd she
God.
go? I don't know.
That's
I
really-
don't know.
that's terrible.
The kid walked off the hot cocoa box and right into prison.
On that note,
Alrighty then. I have spoken.
this is why I have dogs and not children.
Yeah.
I'm reminded every day why I'm like, I am glad I have dogs.
No evil dogs. No evil cats.
I mean, I do have Franklin's kind
he's
of
not evil. He's
he was once again, it was that nurture,
Right.
Because he was
he had bad
experience,
Right.
terrible place.
He's a rescue, and Shannon is rehabilitating him, and
we're
it is
trying.
not his fault.
It's not his fault.
And he ate out of my hand. He's behaving
That's
himself.
right. Yeah, he's trying.
He's trying to be a good boy. It's not his fault.
trying.
He is not evil.
No, my
Not
baby
evil.
boy, I love him
He's
so
not
much.
evil.
But
no evil puppies and kittens.
I'm one of those weird people, like when I'm out in public and someone has a dog, I'm like, who's this? Oh my goodness, you're so cute. Oh my God. And then someone walks along with a child, I'm like, meh.
Ew.
I don't care. I'm like, oh
Ew.
God, no, get it away.
Yeah.
But a dog?
Dogs are welcome. Children must be on a leash.
Absolutely. 100%.
That's funny. See, there's the humor. That was
There
funny.
it is. There it
That was
is.
funny. There it
Yeah.
is. We had to end on a funny
Always
note.
choose dogs over children, people. That's the moral.
And they both taste like chicken.
Oh.
No? Okay.
No.
See? That wasn't funny? Even the cat groaned. Yeah,
The
he's
cat's like, oh,
no,
Jesus, not that again.
All right.
All right,
Well,
folks.
there you go. Thank you for joining us, Breathers, on yet another episode of
All
my favorite people are dead.
And if they're evil, we're really glad they're dead.
Stay there.
Yeah. Okay.
See ya.
Bye.